Hi, my name's Jack from Painted Legion, and today we're going to have a look at how to paint Hive Fleet Leviathan. This is a darker Hive Fleet Leviathan scheme. I'm not a big fan of the lighter ones, and also I haven't been able to work out a recipe for a lighter Hive Fleet Leviathan. But this is kind of grimdark. This is a grimdark Leviathan. Although grimdark tend to use more weathering pigments and oils, but I'm still going to call it grimdark because again, first we're going to start with Morghast Bone, and we're just going to do a base layer over a white prime model. I'm using an airbrush here. You do not have to use an airbrush. I'm just using it for speed, and it applies thin layers, which I'm a fan of. And once you've got that all over the model, we're going to pick up Brightland Flesh Shade, and we're going to put this all over that Morghast Bone. This is going to give it a more fleshy feel. It gives us some warmer flesh tones in there. And don't be shy about putting this on. Just slap this on. Make sure there's not any excessive pooling. You can see I've got some around the arm there. I'll just go and brush over that to get it out, or later on I'll go in with a dry brush and wick it up. Then we're going to grab Caribou Crimson, and we're going to apply this to the body. You can use a brush for this. I'm going to use an airbrush because I like the effect. I like the sort of subtle gradient it gives us. But using a brush, it'll give you a different effect. It'll look slightly different, but it'll get the same feel that we're looking for. We're adding this color in to give more variation to the colors on the skin tone. And that'll sort of sell the idea that this is a living organism. And we're going to focus this to the body, the upper limbs, the upper part of the leg, and also the neck and the back of the head. And once you're happy with how that looks, we're going to grab Volupus Pink. So we're going to paint this in neat to all the fleshy details. So the vents, the gun pipes, and the tongue. And we're also going to paint in the joints of the model. Because we've done the skin so quickly here with so few steps, we can afford to spend a bit extra time picking out some more details. Next, we're going to go back to Morghast Bone. And we're going to dilute this a bit so that it goes on smoothly. I'm going to use it to highlight some key areas that are now quite red because of the Caribou Crimson. So first we're going to do this on the holes at the back of the head, and we'll do it on the holes in the back of the tail as well. We'll also do it on the key parts around the jaw, the face, and any raised areas on the arms or the legs, and also the body. So the ribbing on the neck, the jutty bone bits, I guess you call them on the ribs of the model. And then to add a new technique, we're going to try a new technique with this model. I'm going to do a bit of glazing. We're going to dilate this Morghast Bone a bit more, and we're going to wipe most of it off of the brush. So you can see here, I have very, very little on the end of my brush, so that when I pass it over the shoulder, there's not much paint coming off at all. So I can make multiple passes, and my brush strokes are going all towards the center of the shoulder, where I want the most light. And this will build up a really gentle gradient from the paint that we've already got there to the paint that we're adding. And we're going to do this on the muscles on the arm, and also the top of the leg. And next we're going to grab Black Legion, and we're going to black out all the details. So I'm going to do the chitin, the hooves and the claws, the eyes, the teeth, and the gun. And I'm also going to color. I'm going to paint in the base here as well. Once that's dry, we're going to grab Royal Purple from Vallejo, and we're going to do our feathering technique. So if you've seen any of my Tyranid videos, you'll know what I'm talking about here. We're going to hold the model somewhere between perpendicular and 45 degrees to the brush, or I guess the brush to the model. And we're going to do a quick feathering motion down the side of the panel to get that sort of striation feathering line type look that you'll see on a lot of Tyranids. And we do this because a lot of Tyranids have very flat surfaces on their armor, so it's good to add texture. It gives a more organic feel, and it's a quick technique once you get used to doing it, and it looks pretty cool. It really sells the idea that this is an organic thing that's grown somewhere, even if it is alien. We're going to do this on all the chitin panels except for the chitin panels on the gun. We're going to do that a slightly different color later. Just going to take a quick interlude here to ask that if you got value from this tutorial or any of my tutorials, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you liked it. It'll help the channel grow and keeps me motivated to make new videos. And if you're interested in commission painting, I do commission painting. So check out my Instagram if you'd like to see some of the other work I do. And drop me a message if you're interested. And then we're going to grab Gene Stealer Purple and do another highlight using the same feathering motion, except this time a little more held back. We're not going to do where we've done it along the whole edge of the armor panel with the previous color. We're just going to pick out either key parts where there's a scratch or an indent in the armor, or we're just going to do a line, leave a bit of space, and then another line, and that'll give the illusion that there are chips and cracks along the side of these armor panels. Here we're going to continue with some of the details, so we're going to pick up Flesh Tearers Red, one of my favorite red colors. I use it almost any time I want to paint red. We're going to put this onto the chitin panels on the gun, and the hooves and the claws. And once that's dry, we'll pick up corn red, and we're going to highlight it using the same feathering motion for the chitin panels on the gun that we did on the chitin panels for the main body, and just some line highlights on the hooves and the claws. I'm going to continue with the details. I'm going to pick up Morghast bone, and I'm going to paint in the eye of the termagant so that it's got a black outline, and this will give us a good base to paint in the orange, which we'll use doing Slayer orange. So get a good layer on the eye on the gun and on the eye of the termagant. Make sure to be neat here. Try not to spill over. And then we'll pick up Euro yellow and do a last dot highlight on the eye for the termagant, and on the gun we'll do a dot of this in the center. And then finishing up here, we're going to grab Skaven Blight Dinge. I'm going to paint in the teeth. Just do a simple line. Make sure there's still a black line between each tooth, so we've got that separation. So you don't need much paint on your brush at all. And then we'll grab Storm Vermin Fur, which I didn't show, but Storm Vermin Fur, and we're just doing a quick dot on each tooth. There we are, there's the finished model. Hope you like this one. It's a good little scheme. This, I think Leviathan is a classic scheme now, especially now that they're the poster boys. You can see on the picture here, there's some black marks on the arm. It almost looks like weathering. It's actually where I put my thumb onto, I think, the base as it was drying, and got black paint on my thumb, and then accidentally put it onto the model without realizing. And I just I left it there. It's going to be one of those happy little accidents that Bob Ross talks about. So if you like that, like and subscribe. There's a playlist on the right there if you want to have a look at some more Tyranid painting tutorials. I've got some Space Marine stuff on the way, some sculpting tutorials on how I've converted the tabards and the capes onto my custom Space Marine chapter. And if you're interested in the commission, send me a message on Instagram. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.